Good morning, Sage here. You're watching Kalkine TV live from the Sydney studio. This is the Stocks in Action show. And first up, we'll take a look at the ASX 200 and the ASX listed stocks that are trending today. Today, the ASX 200 is trading lower by 0.38% at 7,279.90. The virus spread is definitely something to worry about. Australia reported on Sunday one of the highest numbers for locally acquired coronavirus cases this year, triggering lockdowns in the cities of Sydney and Darwin and forcing tighter restrictions in 4 states. Sydney began a 2-week lockdown on Sunday. And 7 of 11 sectors are lower today, along with the S&P ASX 200 index. Consumer staples is the best performing sector, gaining 0.93% and 1.39% for the past 5 days. On Friday, the Australian benchmark index rebounded from the lower levels and closed the session 0.45% higher at 7,308. And before we jump to the ASX charter in detail, let us look at the US market performance. On Friday, Wall Street registered a market-wide rally with the S&P 500 closing at a record high and was up 2.7% on a weekly basis. The news that US President Joe Biden has successfully secured a bipartisan infrastructure agreement with lawmakers and weaker than expected inflation data underpinned the rally in equities. Joe Biden's infrastructure plan is valued at around $1.2 trillion over the period of 8 years, of which $579 billion is going to be put towards new spending. The Dow Jones surged 0.71% to close at 34,438.58 points, while the S&P 500 was up 0.34%. However, the Nasdaq Composite was slightly negative, with a downtick of 0.06% to reach 14,360.39 after making a new high in the session before. And now let us move on to the currency space. The US dollar ended Friday's session almost unchanged, recovering from an early fall after tamer than expected producer price inflation data was out. The investors continued to evaluate whether the US Fed will act sooner to curb inflation if it persists. The dollar index closed unchanged at 91.838 after falling to 91.524. On Friday, the Australian and New Zealand dollars were up for a 5th straight session and recorded solid weekly gains. The Australian dollar traded 0.1% up at US $0.7594 after hitting a near 6-month low of US $0.7478 earlier this month. In the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin ticked up 1.5% to reach US $32,275 on Sunday, recovering from the low of US $30,175 approximately made on Saturday. Other peers such as Dogecoin was down 0.4% and Ether was down 0.3%. On Friday, the crude oil prices rose for a 5th consecutive week, reaching their highest since October 2018 on expectations that demand growth will outstrip supply, and after the OPEC Plus decision to be cautious in supplying more crude oil to the market from August 2021. On Friday, the gold edged higher after stagnant US consumer spending tempered bets for the Fed's early monetary policy tightening, setting the yellow metal on track for its first weekly gain in the last 4 weeks. And on that note, we'll take a small break, but please stay tuned as I'll be back with more trending news.
Hi, this is Andy Liu broadcasting from Kalkine Media Studio in Australia, and I'll be hosting the new Kalkine Wellness Show. The half-hour show will cover topics from how wellness as a concept has become even more significant during COVID, to how becoming vegan may improve your health, and much more. We are excited to showcase our live streaming show to our audience of millions overseas and in Australia. Tune in to Kalkine TV and join me.
Welcome back. This is Sage and you're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney, and this is the Stocks in Action show. Now, let us quickly see through some of the significant market moves that are happening right now. First big news is coming in from the UK, Well, Britain's financial regulator has ordered Binance, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency agencies, to stop all regulated activity and issued a warning to consumers about the platform, which is coming under growing scrutiny globally. And moving on to the next big news, automobile giant Tesla has begun recalling more than 285,000 vehicles in China on Saturday over a safety risk concerning the vehicle's cruise control feature. And Tesla also apologised for the recall via a statement posted on its official Weibo account, one of China's most popular social media sites. Tesla said it will keep improving in accordance with China's safety regulations. And now here is another important news from the global BNPL giant Split that has announced that it has partnered with leading Middle East BNPL provider Tabby. And on that note, let's have a look at a few more recent updates from the ASX listed companies. Starting with the first news. The known independent construction materials equipment and service provider MAAS Group Holdings has announced on Monday that it has acquired several strategic and complementary acquisitions to support continued growth across business segments. As per the release, the total consideration for the commercial and industrial real estate additions is 47.2 million Australian dollars. For residential acquisitions, the total consideration is 31 million Australian dollars. For strategic real estate, it is 45.5 million Australian dollars. And this brings to a total consideration amount of 123.7 million Australian dollars. MAAS Group Holdings also shared that it has negotiated increased headroom and more flexible covenants for its core Australian bank financing facilities. And the agreement has been reached to upsize the existing Australian debt facilities from 160 million to 200 million Australian dollars. Also, consent has been secured to enable MGH to source project finance funding of up to an additional 100 million Australian dollars for nominated commercial property development projects. So together, these initiatives enable MAAS Group to access 300 million Australian dollars of debt capacity for its Australian operations. And MAAS Group Holdings Limited traded last on the ASX at $5.78 Australian per share. And moving on to the next big news, clinical stage biotechnology firm Cynata Therapeutics has announced on 28th June 2021 that it has appointed known clinical research firm Data Farm Australia to help conduct and manage the proposed clinical trial of Cynata's Cymerus trademarked mesenchymal stem cell product in diabetic foot ulcers. And the involvement of Data Farm shows an essential milestone towards starting the trial. And as per the company, patient enrolment for the trial is likely to be initiated in the second half of this year. And moreover, Data Farm is an Australian full-service CRO providing clinical trial management design, site setup, clinical monitoring, statistical services, data management, medical writing and pharmacovigilance, GCP auditing and patient recruitment services. And meanwhile, the last traded share price of Cynata Therapeutics Limited was 52 cents per share Australian. And on that note, let's take a small break, but stay tuned as I'll be back with more trending news.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
Where the property market is headed next.
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly.
Apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
With Kalkine TV.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Sage and you're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney, and this is a Stocks in Action show. We are discussing the ASX listed companies that are in the news today, and the next big news comes in from Iceni Gold's exploration update for the Deep Well target. Iceni Gold, the Perth-based gold explorer, reported that the drilling campaign at the Deep Well target was completed, and ICL has found 3 diamond drill holes with intersects of multiple narrow zones. The zones are highly visible with bright hematite alteration surrounding the quartz veining in it. It has notable tauramine and pyrite as well. Also, alterations has been observed in all the 3 holes by Asceni Gold in over a strike length of 200 metres. The drill core is to be processed by ICL, sampled and sent to the laboratory for assaying. And the drilling process was carried out after the gold anomalism was identified in previous exploration work. Asceni Gold Limited shares last traded at 20 cents per share Australian. And meanwhile, Kronos Australia launches the 3rd personal care brand Safe in Asia. Kronos Australia, the health and wellness company, has launched its new personal care brand in Asia. The new CBD brand Safe in key North Asian markets, Japan and Hong Kong. And the initial Safe range includes a CBD cleanser, ablution and a CBD moisturiser. Tranquility. Both are made in Japan and contain the same unique blend of pure essential oils suitable for sensitive skin. The products will be sold by Kronos Australia through retailers and directly to consumers via e-commerce channels. Safe products are not yet available in Australia for regulatory reasons, and the total addressable market in the skin and body care segments targeted by Kronos Australia is more than $20 billion. Kronos Australia Limited shares last traded at 0.01 Australian dollars per share. The next news is coming in from Tesoro Resources releasing its assay results from the Ternera gold deposit. Tesoro Resources has reported assay results from extensional and infill resource definition drilling at the Ternera gold deposit. And assays for 10 drill holes at Ternera have been received, with all holes returning significant gold results. Multiple high-grade bonanza intercepts were returned, confirming the Ternera mineralising model and the influence of north-south fault zones on high-grade gold mineralisation at Ternera. And furthermore, Tesoro has finished 179 diamond drill holes totalling 55,724 metres at El Zorro. Let's take a look at the next big news. Prospect Resources declared the completion of commissioning and construction at the Arcadia Lithium Project pilot plant, as well as the start of production. The pilot plant is being built and operated to produce high purity pentallite samples for Prospect's future technical customer base. And on the 30th of June, Prospect Resources will welcome offtake partner Cinnamine Resources and presidential representatives from several government ministries to the site to oversee the first transfer of product to Cinnamine Resources. Prospect Managing Director Sam Hosek said that they have effectively proved their competence to deliver this project in Zimbabwe. He also added that they are now looking forward to providing high-purity lithium products to the downstream supply chain, where they will be used to finish product validation processes. And that's all for now in this report, but please stay tuned with Kalkine TV for more live market updates. We will be back with more news on the markets, the economy and diverse themes and sectors. Sage signing off.